Welcome back to Copper Star Precision, the channel dedicated to getting you more points at your competitive shooting matches. We're continuing to go over the July course of fire for 2023, and stage 2 in the booklet is called Grillin' Like a Villain, 122nd stage, 10 rounds. Let's discuss the stage description. On the start signal, take a position on top of the tripod bowler head and engage each target with 2 shots in the following order. Far left, far right, near, far left, far right. Note, rifles will not be locked in with an arc clamp or cradle of any kind. A bag can be used atop the tripod. So this is the first time. Tripod is a new sort of barricade, if you will, for this NRL22 season. This is the first time we've used it in a match on the official course of fire. I will put the target sizes down here, basically 2-inch and a 2.5-inch, both at 95 yards, and a 1.5-inch at 75 yards. And I know there's probably some hunters in the audience who probably shot off a tripod, but you're probably clamped in, so some strategies for shooting off a bag and a tripod is different than when you're actually clamped into the tripod. Because if you're clamped into the tripod, which we can't do on this stage, you can do some things where the rifle is supported and you can hold different positions to kind of stabilize the whole unit. But really, this is just, treat this as another barricade. Essentially, this could be thought of as kind of like a tank trap tip that you're just going to put a bag on top of. So don't get too flustered about exactly the new prop aspect of this. Just think of it as something else that you just put a bag on and you run the stage. Here, because we're only engaging the near target with 2 shots and we're only going to the near target once, I think it's okay to dial. So I would probably dial for the far target, obviously because it's the first one we engage. And then we're going to take 2 shots and 2 shots at the same distance. We're going to dial down for the third target, the near target, and then dial back up for the last 4 shots. So because there's only basically 2 times we have to dial, you don't have to use holdover in the stage. I think you will have enough time, and you're not changing positions, so there should be plenty of time on the clock, but make sure you do manage your time. I put out that video about the shot timer, and basically that's helped me really manage my time. So I should, after the first 4 shots, after the first 6 shots, there should probably be a minute left for the last 4 shots, something like that. So what do I recommend for this? I think this is going to be pretty much done with a 1-bag setup. As far as bag selection goes, here's the OG size game changer, and I think a larger bag with a little bit larger surface area is going to be advantageous. Of course, it's going to depend on kind of what you have set up here. Here's a kind of rinky-dink Manfrotto tripod. My other tripod is actually holding the camera right now. So this is kind of as wobbly as you probably will encounter. And I think the larger surface area and something that can actually go over, whether it be just the flat head of the tripod or if there's a ball head attached here, it should be set at a height of 42 inches, which this one is. I think a little bit larger bag is going to settle around that a little bit more, and because we're pivoting between left and right targets, you want something where there's a little bit more surface area so that you have some room to kind of maneuver the rifle. Now, you don't necessarily want the bag to move. You can move the rifle on the bag. What's going to be important here is this height, exactly at 42, is a little uncomfortable for kneeling. So if I stand up straight and use good posture, that probably works, but I don't have that rear support. So what I might do is integrate some sort of pump pillow like this, just so I can fill that gap. But this is that weird in-between height for me where I'll probably just end up doing the Jean-Claude Van Damme splits and coming in this way. This is probably what I'll do. What's important is that you're using your left hand to support the rifle. I'll show you on the opposite hand here. I have these weight kits here, and I don't have to worry about touching the barrel because there's a full hand guard. Don't touch your barrel when you're supporting the rifle in the front because you might cause barrel shift. But I'm basically using this weight as an index point and then grabbing the bag, kind of trying to lock everything into place. I think that's extremely important. So I'm dialed up. In this case, 1.6 is my dope for the far target, and 0.8 is the dope for the near target. So again, using that hand, that's that weird awkward height between standing and kneeling. For me, I'll probably go standing. So timer goes off, get down on target, find the left target, good breathing, engage again. And then from here, I should just be able to swing over. Now the second target, the left target, which we engage first, is a little bit bigger, 1/2 inch bigger than the right target. So if you're gonna spend more time on the right targets because they're slightly fractionally smaller. Right target, slightly smaller, making sure my breathing is good. Find that natural respiratory pause. Engage twice here. Now, While I'm kind of lining up in the middle for that third target, I'm going to dial down 0.8. If I have to adjust parallax, I can go do that. Find the near target, we're going to engage that twice, and then repeat the process for left and right targets. So pretty simple stage. I think, you know, the key is not to get caught up on what do I do with the tripod, because we're not clamping in. Basically find a relatively big bag, give you lots of surface area, and kind of test beforehand, you know, like find something in your house that's, or if you have a tripod, you know, set it to that height, 42 inches, and see if you're gonna be, if you're a little taller than me, you might be able to kneel. If you're my height or shorter, maybe standing is a better way to go. So kind of get an idea in your game, make your game plan ahead of time. Make sure you know how you're gonna approach the stage so you don't waste time on the clock figuring out what position you get in. So for me, it's probably going to be standing and leaning over with, you know, legs spread apart, keeping those legs straight for back stability. It would be nice if I could do kneeling, and we'll kind of have to see at the match how it's set up and if it really is at 42 inches. So if it's higher, I'll definitely have to stand. If it's lower, I might be able to get away with the kneel. But again, large surface area on the top of the bag that you choose so that you can have enough room to maneuver the rifle. If these tips and tricks helped, let me know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to this channel, and until I see you next time, score more points.